Okay, this module is a contact form styler. So I'm going to show you a couple of different contact forms we can use when we get down to that. But this module is just about how to style a certain contact form. So there's a contact form builder, which is contact form 7, which is what you need to be able to activate this certain module. So this is a free contact form builder. Now it's extremely reliable and extremely powerful. The only downside is it's not super user friendly if you don't know. But I'm going to guide you guys through the video, and there's a couple of other options when it comes to these forms. So once you build out your form, which I'll show you, I already have it installed. So contact forms. So when I say not user friendly, it's just in the back end, you have to kind of just understand these labels. But once you've understand these and once you've built this out, this is the beauty of this styler. So I won't go too much into this because I'm going to show you how to build out the forms using this and another form builder. However, I will show you once you've built it out, this is where this styler comes in. So I'm going to jump back over to my demo page. I can make these 2 columns. So once we went ahead and we've already built out our contact form. So for a very simple contact form, we can use the module inside of Ultimate Add-ons. Now it's when you need a little bit more advanced or more fields, that's when you would use a contact form. So I'm just going to go ahead, done. I'm going to go ahead and find the CF7 styler, and then it's going to pull up my default form. So depending on which form I wanted to use, this is where I can assign which form that I wanted to use. Now, when I say advanced, it gives you options for people to be able to put dates in, and you can put radio buttons in where people have to select, like almost like a mini form, questionnaire. So I'll just go back to the contact form 1, and then this is where we just be able to go and style it. Because in the past, using contact form styler would be quite difficult to go in and make it look really nice. That's where you would need some coding. So when they came out with this, everyone was pretty excited that you can use that free, powerful form builder and now be able to style it without having to worry about code. So form styles, you've got a couple of different form styles here. You've got color, which is going to give it a nice background, so you can kind of see it a little bit more. Gradient, so I'm assuming that's going to be like a gradient background. Okay, so yeah, you can make it match like you want if you were having a lot of gradient on your site, and then you could put an image in there. So again, not too bad to put an image in. I probably wouldn't because it's just going to look cluttered back there, I would say. So yeah, so I would either just stick to the background is either none. And then you could go ahead and just make sure the text is readable, or just use a color and just put it in a box. So I'll just go to none. Yeah, input, and then this is where you're just going to be able to customize it. So your input background, whether you have that color or it's transparent. So it's just going to get rid of that box. Text alignment will be left. You could have the text alignment centered. So let me change that text. That's the input. Form title. I'm just going to make these all light colored so we can see them. I'll come back and show you this, but just so we can see it in the meantime. It's the label. So these, as you can see, you have a lot of customization that you can do with this builder. Let me just save that, hopefully. Okay, it did change it. I just didn't use Oh, hang on. Sometimes when you choose a color, it doesn't take. So just remember that. You might just have to go back and change it. So now you can see all this. So we can go back to transparent. So that would be the input color, is what the color of the text when someone's writing is going to be. This is where you can make the boxes quite narrow or quite, whoops, let's go like an 80. So you have those nice big boxes. So you can go ahead and play with that. Whoa. So you can go ahead and play with that. Padding, I wouldn't worry too much about that. Just leave it as default. Import border style. So that's that border around there. If you wanted to make that, thicker. Nice and thick borders. So you can go ahead. Radio and checkboxes. You can use, so you can go ahead and that. I don't think I had any on this. Let me see if I did put a radio box. Yeah, I didn't put any in there. So if you did have radio boxes, when you click that, that would come up and then you'd be able to style them. So you can really get into customizing it exactly the way you like. Now the button, again, flat or transparent. Transparent, would you be able to kind of match the frames? Totally your call. I like to have it a bit more solid, just so it really kind of catches the eye that it's a contact form. Change the colors, change the text, change the structure. So you could change I would probably change this button down to custom. Make it a bit bigger. Yeah, 200. You could even go 300. You can also go full width of the form. Again, I tend to like the custom just because it makes it look a little bit more like a button and it really helps it stand out. So just some more customization. An error, if someone enters like their email address wrong without the proper @ symbol, that's just how to customize that. Validation, again, you can make sure the color of this, I would probably go green. And then just so when you submit that, it's going to go, your message was sent. So let's change that. And just so we can see on the example, like I mentioned, the typography, the text sizing, you might want to play around with the size of the text above. Form labels, all the same. So you can make that nice and big. Now, just remember again here, where you see this little desktop, you can, to toggle this, to get the adjustments for the others. I know sometimes you can just push this and it will toggle through it. But for this one, you can go and expand the responsive options. And then you can change the text size exactly how you want it. First of all, I would just start with a default. It usually does a really good job at the responsiveness. Again, the radio check buttons, just customization. Again, the advanced is very similar. The advanced is the same as all the options when you're using the element or box mode module. You can have so we haven't talked about animations. You can have the animation so things fly in and out. I wouldn't do that with a contact form. You might do that with images and that, which we can go over a little later. I'll just jot that down to make sure I remind you. And that's kind of it for the stylizing of that. We can publish that. And then, like I had mentioned, so we would have to go and make sure that this text is bigger and so we may have to publish this to use it. So yeah, you would just have to go and make sure your text is readable. See down the bottom here, thank you, your message has been sent. So that's what I mean by the green, and then if there was an error, that would be in red. So you really just need to go around and play with your form a little bit to kind of get it to how you need it functioning. See you in the next video.